Leenock didn't look as scary. The respect is given to DeMusliM though, and that is the civs that are banned. We have already started the first game here. It's MarineLorD's Ruse into DeMusliM's Holy Roman Empire.
And already we begin seeing a dock going down in the center of the map. MarineLorD looking to try and take control of this central stage. I'll be curious to see whether DeMusliM is going to be looking to expand as well. One of the things that we have been seeing is these Holy Roman Empire players sort of going for that little secret dock up towards one edge of the map or the other and then walling themselves in. So that is potentially what we could be looking at here. So we'll have to keep an eye out. And I do note DeMusliM is quite heavily on wood at this stage in the game.
Yeah, he is. So he is going for an H1 dock as well. Maybe trying to go with that same route that Leenock went for. Not overcommitting, just getting 3 fishing ships to bolster early food income. And then eventually, you know, getting to that castle age. I would imagine possibly faster than Leenock. This is DeMusliM's specialty civilization.
Yes, that is correct. Now, one of the other things that we have seen players do, I remember watching a game, LucifoN up against, I can't remember who the game was, but it was on Danube River. It was a Holy Roman Empire mirror, and what he actually did was just completely ignored water, went straight for that fast castle, and looked to pick up the relics as quickly as possible. Now, we don't see that happening this game. But he's definitely going to be prioritizing getting up to that third age as quickly as possible. And oh my gosh, we've got ourselves a little bit of a problem up here. MarineLorD getting a bit greedy over there. How many wolves is that? That looks like 3 wolves tailing Grubby.
3 wolves tailing Grubby and 1 wolf tailing Aussie_Drongo if you are that other.
You can call me Aussie or you can call me Drongo, I don't mind. You don't have to include
it's too long
the
after
underscore.
all. Okay. I mean, it's important, you know. If you care about that, I will identify you exactly as you prefer. Even though I will admit it is a little long.
A little bit, yeah. It's a little bit long. When you spell it out, not so much when you say it. Yeah, it gets it gets there. But we do see those walls coming in. So DeMusliM definitely going to be looking to have a bit of security down here, and he does actually get these walls up before the fishing ship comes down. So we can see the fishing boat moving down here for MarineLorD, but he's going to be finding himself stuck between a wall and a river.
A wall and a river, and he's got the majority of the river, so like he's fine with that. He like shrugs. Okay, you want this small little patch of backwater, and that's all that DeMusliM is gonna have. Now, as we kind of set up for their ways into feudal, let's also do a quick analysis of the map. DeMusliM has 3 major wood lines. There's plenty of wood on this map, but the 3 major wood lines are roughly in the direction of MarineLorD, the largest patches. In terms of the relics, always relevant for the Holy Roman Empire. All 3 are towards the north side, but he does have 3. He also has slightly more land space across the river than what MarineLorD has. So I'd say overall, not bad for Demu.
Yeah, not bad for DeMusliM at all. I would note that obviously he's got the 3 relics on his own side, but there is one relic in particular that's kind of in the middle of both of them, up towards that north position in the middle of the map. It's looking, yeah, this one right here. It's looking pretty contestable, but obviously DeMusliM, I'm hoping he'll come in, put a nice little wall across that river and secure it up for himself before he even gets up into that castle age.
As for MarineLorD's side, we are talking about a player here that has maybe won the most tournaments in Age of Empires 4 yet, so far. He hasn't won 2 of the major marquee events that actually allowed you to get a direct invitation into N4C. These were beholden to DeMusliM and to TheViper. MarineLorD had to get here through the qualifiers, and he did so in style. In the very first one, he's probably the favorite of the tournament.
Yeah, he got through in the first qualifier, and also I think, yeah, it was the first qualifier here, wasn't it? Yes. I would definitely agree with that. I think he's 100% the favorite coming into this tournament. And, you know, as DeMusliM said yesterday, he doesn't want to go up against MarineLorD. But here we find ourselves, and looks like a golden gate going to be going up here in the base of MarineLorD here, Grubby.
Yeah, exactly. Golden Gate, able to get those market tickets to exchange resources. And, you know, I'm not sure if I've ever played against VortiX or LucifoN, because I think they practice a lot of custom games together in private. They probably have a fair amount of Smurfs, which is another word for an alternate hidden account where your identity is not necessarily known. I have played against the other 6, I believe, and the 2 that really scared me were DeMusliM and MarineLorD.
Really?
I'm 0-2 against Demu. I'm probably 0-4 against MarineLorD. I managed to get my first victory against TheViper recently. Obviously, he experiments a lot, and it's not worth that much on ladder compared to competitions, but MarineLorD always feels so on point. And DeMusliM, great at macro, great at expanding his economy. He's a more defensive player in general, I would say. MarineLorD more aggressive, and both are scary in their own specialty.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you 100% in that regard. MarineLorD, as you mentioned, I think the big thing for MarineLorD is consistency. Incredibly consistent player, very rarely makes a mistake. A little bit more aggressive, as you did point out. DeMusliM likes to sit back, play it a little bit slowly, waits for the mistakes to come out from his enemy and look to capitalize. But we already see a staple coming down in the base of MarineLorD. Over on the other side of the map, we've got the Arkan Chapel slowly coming over for DeMusliM now. Not the best Arkan Chapel, unfortunately. The gold mine a little bit far away. But unfortunately, there's nowhere for that gold mine really to be included in the Arkan Chapel. Just it's not even viable, is it?
Yeah, no. He would have to have a much bigger circle, and he's not able to draw circles that big. They can't hear the prelate from that far away, really, as he shouts his inspirational words of support. He could go with a second prelate early to try and multiply the gold income on that mining camp, but I really don't feel like it's super worth it in feudal. You've got 4 to 6 villagers the most on that camp, and yeah, prelate doesn't have that much effect on such a small count.
Yeah, we did see him getting a second prelate out there. I'm not sure if you guys picked that up, but on the UI,
yeah, he did.
On the UI, he was actually supply blocked for probably close to about 15 seconds.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah, so as the prelate was halfway through, the house was about.
Just starting.
Yeah, So the prelate was definitely sitting there for quite some time, just hanging out in the production queue. But he's obviously fixed that up. But a little bit of an unforced error early at this stage. But MarineLorD now moving out with his first knight, his early knight. Going to be looking to apply some pressure, and we can see this dock already under significant threat down towards the south here for DeMusliM.
Yeah, it's funny that even though he has a wall to prevent ships from coming here, that little trickle damage of arrows can still reach, just because of the proximity of the dock to that wall. DeMusliM is going to get what food he can from that, while it looks like he's shaping up to be in a position to go to Castle Age before the 8-minute mark. MarineLorD, he's going for the feudal knights. I've seen this play sometimes from Roos. They're certainly not as good as the French ones, but you have that option as Roos to be aggressive before Castle Age comes out. So far, crickets from the Muslim side. He's lost 2 villagers already. This is a very bad oversight for him.
Yeah, what's going on here? I think he...
Can we see his vision, the Muslim's vision, if the ops are able to switch into it? Not right now. Okay, so... well, he's losing things everywhere, Aussie.
Yeah, what is going on here for DeMusliM? DeMusliM just... Has he disconnected? Has he tapped it? I'm a bit confused. Has he just typed in GG? I am going to seek clarification here, ladies and gentlemen. DeMusliM has gotten up, so we're looking to find out exactly what has happened here. But a little bit of drama, game 1.
Yeah, a little bit of drama. We try to avoid this. Just FYI, before we have the full information, Drango, when you disconnect, it appears as if you input no actions for 30 seconds. As the opponent doesn't know it yet, and then suddenly you are reported to have dropped. So if that is what happened here, DeMusliM's strange inattention would be explained.
Yes, okay, that would make perfect sense. So I guess what we can also do is potentially look to have a see what happened from DeMusliM's perspective, and that would obviously give us a great indication because, yeah, it definitely looked like he disconnected.
Yeah, it seems so. We'll get more information about that soon. To you guys. He did disconnect?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we've got production confirmation that there
a grudging yes. He didn't disconnect, but let's say that he ceased to have a connection.
Okay.
So I guess let's call it one. A technical disconnect.
Very interesting as to what happened there, because that was a great seed for him. He would be quite happy with that. Now, obviously, there's a lot of caveats to that. He was losing his dock. Now, I don't think there's any doubt about it. That is going to be replayed for sure. That was way too early to call a game like that.
Yeah.
Because typically the administrator would step in and say, you know, this player had a significant lead or a minor lead, or this player didn't.
Right.
But in this situation, it's still very early days. A good seed for him, though.
Yeah, it was a good seed, and we've got more seeds, so I don't think they'll replay the same one, though it is possible. Not up to us. We'll just report it to you. But when it comes to ruling a game over after a disconnect, it takes more than that for administrators to make that decision generally.
Yeah. Okay, so
what's that? It was not a disconnect.
1-0.
Well, yeah, it is 1-0. Okay. Not a disconnect. So maybe more like a bad mistake. So tilted and then left the game because he didn't notice. He's like, oh, I lost 5 villagers. You know why?
He was being attacked at the dock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Explain the attack sound weariness. The boy who cried wolf.
It always gets me. So if you're attacking a building, just forever, just slowly, just tickling it, the whole time you've got that annoying siren in your head. And after about 30 times, 40 times, your brain doesn't hear it anymore. It doesn't care about it anymore because it just keeps going on. And then eventually, the nights come.
Yeah.
And your villagers die.
You don't know.
And you're wondering why the hell that sound didn't go off. But it did go off. Your brain just didn't pick it up.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to reach out to production. I know you guys are back there. Are we able to get a POV of what happened there to see what DeMusliM was looking at for that last game? Hopefully we can, but we'll talk a little bit more.
Can we see a retroactive replay of what DeMusliM was having in that moment?
Just that last minute would be absolutely perfect. Okay, we are going to try and get that to you guys because I appreciate you guys are going to be just as confused as we were.
Like, what's going on? Like, did he just... So if we can get that slotted in, even during the early phase of the next game, we'll do that.
Yeah, I'll take it any second you got. Like, give it to me right now. But, yeah, I mean, we can talk a little bit about where the future of this series goes because now that we've got an idea of what has happened, we can move forward. But DeMuslim's home maps, Altai, Dry Arabia. Okay, here we go.
Oh, nice. Co-production. So this is Observer POV. We'd love to see demo POV if possible.
Yeah, so you can see here, obviously there's a lot of attention being focused on this dock.
Yeah, I'm looking at the mini-map and I see a red scout passing by in the north side. Perhaps they do not have demo's POV because they didn't initially record it. I don't know if they're making permanent recordings of every POV, even when they're not showing it on the mainstream.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so apparently, and we're just kind of piecing things together, Demo is like not feeling great, and let's just conclude then that he made some uncharacteristic mistakes and gave up early. Yeah.
All right.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, hopefully not a sign of things to come.
Yeah.
But we'll be looking towards that second game. Hopefully he's feeling a bit better and able to make a bit more moves on the next one. But the next maps that we've got up, Altai, Dry Arabia, one open map, one very open map but very closed at the same time. It's like a little alleyway you can fight your opponent in.
Yeah, and the pick is going to be Dry Arabia initially, saving Altai for a potential final match if DeMusliM does go down here 0-2, which, you know, it would be anyone's guess that it could go that way. A potential 3-0 for MarineLorD. He did one yesterday, and he's looking to dole out more like Oprah books. DeMusliM goes to Dry Arabia. What map do you reckon?
Yeah, I think it's a strong map, Dry Arabia. It's going to be his choice here. I suspect we're going to be seeing Mongols versus Delhi. Would be the most likely Civ matchup here. Obviously, MarineLorD with the Mongols, DeMusliM with the Delhi. But we'll see how they play it out. MarineLorD, you know, sometimes he likes to throw civilizations that aren't top tier, but we have a Mongols versus Abbasid game. So DeMusliM looking to pick up the Abbasid dynasty nice and early here. Interesting.
Yeah, that's super interesting. Abbasid dynasty, they both like and dislike closed off and long distance maps. The closed off helps them to kind of do their eco boom early game a little bit better.
Yeah.
But Abbasid also is a castle age power spike civilization, so they like to hit early in a short rush distance with a couple of mangonels. That is the kind of the contradiction of wanting to play Abbasid on Dry Arabia, is that it fulfills one condition but not the other.
Yeah, it can be. It's definitely an interesting map to pick it up on, but already we've seen some pretty impressive action from MarineLorD. He's come right out over to his opponent's base, spotted out DeMuslim's scout, and actually picked off a sheep at the very beginning of the game. So less than 60 seconds into this game, MarineLorD is already smelling that blood in the water. He's coming for it, isn't he?
First blood, yeah. Certainly annoying, like when that Khan clicks your sheep.
Oh, gosh.
There's actually no counterplay for it.
Oh, the worst part is even if the Mongol player makes a misplay, he can just speed the Khan up and he's fine. So yeah, it's one of those situations. It's very difficult to deal with. But as this game develops, I'm curious to know, what way do you think the Mongol player MarineLorD is going to look to go? Is he going to be playing aggressive in the first stage, do you think? Probably look towards a barracks or a stable? Yeah,
I think you spearman outpost rush. If you back this up with a solid experience in the last weeks and months, and you're not just doing lip service and playing Mongols because they're maybe going to be available, but like you actually commit yourself a bit to becoming good at them.
Yep.
I do believe Outpost Spearman Rush is still the best opening. You can go in a nuanced 1 or 2 outpost way, or you can set up an entire defensive cordon of outposts around an opponent's base, and it just forces a large counter response by the Abbasid Dynasty player.
Yep.
Rams are available in Feudal, but they're still 300 wood. In order to deal with 100 wood outposts, one by one, very slowly, that might be protected by Spearman even.
It is important to note that DeMusliM is playing the Abbasid Dynasty. Obviously, the Abbasid Dynasty, they've got a lot of civilization bonuses, but one of those bonuses is the fact that they're able to make siege without researching siege engineering. So we could potentially see even just 1 or 2 spears come out and start to make that battering ram. So we'll have to wait, we'll have to see. But obviously, the early barracks has indeed been placed down by MarineLorD. You can see that he's got a spearman in queue at the moment. We've already got that age up coming through for DeMusliM as well. No surprises there that it is indeed the economic wing coming up for him.
Alrighty, and in many matchups, DeMusliM will start getting stone at the 3-minute 30 mark in order to get that second town center. Is that realistic at all into Mongols when they're going to tower you? Or is it even the best because you're going to sequester yourself to a turtle position anyway? I don't know.
I think it's optimistic, but I'd be curious to see how it goes. I genuinely don't know in this situation, but typically you're going to be under significant threat on your resources, and you're barely cutting through as it is. You've barely got enough resources to get that second TC up in the first place. So we see right now that it is 3 minutes 30. He's about to pull those villagers from gold, probably take them over to stone, but he's going to be suppressed on the wood, and highly likely on the berries as well.
Yeah, so that's a second wood line. It's not the primary wood line yet. We do see that 330 stone from DeMusliM, so he is indeed going to bank up the 300. He likes to do it this way. And while the earliest possible town center with the amount of villagers on gold that he has could come out at the 6-minute mark, it's likely he'll delay it to the 7 or 8-minute mark once he feels like the coast is clear. But he wants to get that stone early, so he's got it in the bank early enough in order to make it at any time it becomes viable. A quick outpost here to defend that stone line, even as his gold villagers are getting harassed by several units. Did he lose it? Yeah, he lost one villager.
Yeah. So losing a villager and now being attacked on the front line as well. The spears coming in and just a lot of harassment here. Probably going to lose another villager here. DeMusliM looking to try and make it back here with this villager. He's going to be trying his best to take it out. Probably going to be losing. And indeed it goes down.
Oh, 2 villagers down is a very painful loss. That is more than 10% of its gathering economy at this point.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Keep in mind he is playing the Abbasid Dynasty, so obviously going to be looking for that second town center sooner. So hopefully he's going to be able to regain that villager deficit sooner than most civs otherwise would.
Yeah, if he does get that second town center out, but it's still quite a whiles away. Furthermore, every single mining camp that MarineLorD sets on fire is a bonus 50 resources for him. He's got outposts set up all around the base. And while you could bring villagers into undefended outposts before arrow emplacements come out, that is a large resource loss in order to surround an outpost, bring 10-20 villagers. I mean, it's just not worth it because they'll keep making more outposts.
Especially when they're under construction like that, because he can just walk away, cancel it, and you've spent 200 seconds or 200 villager seconds.
Yeah.
And he spent nothing. So, yeah, it can be very difficult to decide whether or not to commit to that. But we can see that DeMusliM here instead going to be looking to go for a golden age early and does drop a barracks down about 5 minutes 30 here. So hasn't given up completely on the dream of a second town center, but definitely has delayed it.
Oh, it's such a delay, and the way that he got the golden ace, besides losing it now because the mining camp goes down, he'll get it back with the barracks soon enough. He got it by making way more houses than required, sitting at 22 under 60. That is a 150 wood investment that he didn't need yet just to get that 10% gathering bonus.
Yeah, and it's a difficult position as well because he's lost those villagers, and obviously that stacks up with those villagers. So he's really lost, 2.2 villagers. But we now see that first landmark coming through for MarineLorD, obviously going up with the deer stones. No surprises there, no shenanigans happening today. Not looking to get some trading going behind the scenes, and I guess we haven't seen that in a really long time. I guess it really goes to show how strong those deer stones are. Yeah,
Silver Tree. I mean, he's going to get Jan Network the moment he reaches Feudal here on these outposts. Once they finish, so good. It's a global Wi-Fi movement speed advantage, immediate arrow emplacements on all of these towers, and he's harassing villagers more as they're trying to get this tower up. Another villager goes down.
It's not looking like a pretty position here for DeMusliM. He's actually ahead in the village account.
Wait, how is that possible?
I've got no idea. Was MarineLorD potentially idle for a little bit here? Wasn't making...
He couldn't get house blocked. You don't need to build houses as Mongols.
Yeah, maybe he was making scouts from his town center?
Really?
I don't know. There's a couple of different...
Well, I guess
there's at least one scout out on the field, but not that many.
Maybe he killed 2 villagers building outposts or something. We kind of glossed over it because we had so many important things to say.
Probably, yeah. We do have a lot of important things to say, like the second town center that's going down in DeMusliM's base. So he's achieving his game plan, because typically when you come into a game as the Abbasid dynasties, you're a predictable civilization in that you want to get that second town center down, and you want to try and make a lot of villages. He's managed to at least tick off that first box.
Yeah. And he does have a wood line here that he's still gathering from. Right now, I would say that outpost is in range of the most exposed villagers, but he has no vision. That's where the Khan often comes in.
Yes,
Drop that Raven.
That's exactly it. The cheeky little Khan. He can always come in from the other side of the town centers and try and spot in. And now we see that Khan sneaking its way in on the right side of your screens right now.
This is so annoying.
Yeah, he's he's ducked in for a little bit of a session to say good day. But looks like we might have a villager pool coming in here. No,
why did he go for that tree? He's still in range.
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. It definitely looks like he's thinking about what. I am not sure what is going on right now.
He's playing like a game of musical chairs. 20 villagers, 1 tree. Who can get this around?
But, I mean, his villager count is starting to climb. He's up to 28 villages at the moment, despite losing a couple. And the battering ram is going to be coming down now, Grubby.
Okay, battering ram being made. It's finished now. He's got his own arrow and placement set up. Several villagers were killed. They took turns having the villager lead, but now DeMusliM should run away with that. And the ram comes in, needs about, what, 5 shots on an outpost, perhaps. And this is very effortless when there's no spearman defense with torches. DeMusliM's got a couple of spearman himself. Still getting his villagers attacked by the outposts here.
Yeah, this is really unfortunate. Where's that line of sight coming in from?
I have no idea where that even is coming from. That's ridiculous.
It's it's up towards the north. It looks like there's a couple of outposts up towards that position.
They were just attacking the villagers in the center.
Yeah. Maybe it was the Khan that came and stopped by, threw out a little bit of a falcon, potentially. The Khan did die, so it could have it could have indeed been that Khan going down.
Worth it.
Yeah, I think so, definitely. It's a free unit, right?
Yeah.
Now, MarineLorD is up to the next stage. DeMusliM's still stuck in Age 2. Obviously got the second town center out. He's working on his economy. He's 2 villages up at the moment, but obviously going to be an age down. He needs to get up as quickly as possible.
And he's got not a single gold coin being gathered right now. He's got that bank of 53 looking pretty lean. No economy upgrades yet, not one of those wheelbarrow openings. You've got that luxury against less aggressive civilizations, not so against MarineLorD's Mongols. So he doesn't even have a mining camp on gold right now. So I would say the route to Castle Age is at least 4 minutes away.
It's going to be quite some time. Now, we have seen players just look to defend in the second age.
Feudally?
Yeah.
With spears, horses, and archers?
We have seen it before, and it has worked on the condition that they're able to transition up to the third age very swiftly after. But I do suspect here with MarineLorD that it's highly likely we're going to be seeing those armored units coming out, those lancers, those palace guards, or palace guards?
Men-at-Arms, right?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm a China main.
You're such a Chinese Sith fan.
I am, I really am. So, yeah, there's a number of different options that he's got, but we do indeed see those men-at-arms coming out on the left-hand side of your screen. Underneath MarineLorD's picture, we've got that beautiful global queue, Grubby.
Global queue, love it. Very nice overlay here at this tournament. And we have a third town center coming out by DeMusliM.
Town center. This is interesting. This is kind of... I do like this. Back when I played StarCraft, I always went into games thinking, all right, if I ever get far behind, I'm just going to throw a Hail Mary. And I really feel like right now DeMusliM is throwing a Hail Mary. He's kind of counting on MarineLorD not attacking him. But the problem is, MarineLorD's playing the Mongols. He's just gotten up to Castle Age. And he means business.
Yeah, he's going to attack. He's made a Mangudai. One Mangudai. I got a couple of men-at-arms coming in. The thing is, though, is this not somewhat comparable? Is DeMusliM not recreating a budget Palace of Swabia where with cheap villager production, great numbers, you can afford to be inefficient, lose villagers, garrison villagers, have inferior units, but eventually just have enough stuff, just zerg your opponent?
I think you're 100% right. We see that he's looking to zerg his opponent now. A little bit of a misplay here from MarineLorD, losing out just a handful of his units, obviously managing to clean up that outpost as well. So DeMusliM doing a good job in cleaning that one up, but we can start to see that the villager lead is climbing now for DeMusliM. He's up about 11 villagers at this point. And I think that overall, the Horsemen are going to do at least a decent job of cleaning up these smaller amounts of men-at-arms. The problem's going to be when there's 8, 9, 10 out, and they can not really get that good surround that they used to.
Catching each other's flank. MarineLorD is getting wheelbarrow. He has unupgraded men-at-arms, so they're simply 4 melee armor. Horsemen deal 9 damage, so more than half of their damage is actually working. Same with Spearmen, 9 damage as well. That's why these units, though feudal and less efficient, can do okay with the surrounds, but there's that critical numbers that you were talking about coming in. Not 8 yet, but 5, catching each other's flank. It's not super easy to deal with them, but DeMusliM is getting those tower.
Delicious.
What is taro? Taro cake. No, he's getting those arrow emplacement towers.
Yeah, so looking to try and defend his position here with the arrow emplacements. Probably could be thinking about a castle edge, but it's just so far off at this point in time. He's got barely 100 gold or 100 food to his name, and yeah, I mean, big dreams of the castle edge.
At this point, he's just defending feudally. Kind of like you preordained, foreshadowed. 9 men-at-arms coming in here. MarineLorD is going full sheep, monk, and men-at-arms production right now. And these men-at-arms are going to be a big problem. No ranged armor yet, but they are being made. That means that MAA will take only 3 damage instead of 4 from these arrow emplacement towers. Still pushing in, but I do like DeMuslim's approach. I do think Moss Town Center is a good play into a superior force. There's no way to be cost efficient with spears and horses, so you better have that big economy behind it, and I like what he's doing.
Yeah, beginning to build up that villager lead too. We're up to 16 villager lead now, so he's looking quite strong. My main concern, as mentioned earlier, is that critical mass going to be coming through shortly. Looks like the battering ram coming back to just do a little bit of dying, it seems. Unfortunately going down to those men-at-arms, but now a little bit of a surround coming through, and you can see this is where the critical mass of men-at-arms begin to really make waves. Just so many units out here for DeMusliM, but it doesn't even matter because he can't get the surround.
Can't get the surround on those anymore. 2 villagers were killed. I don't believe a single men-at-arms even got hurt. That's pretty crazy. A lot of pastures here. That's a lovely Ovu location, by the way.
It's pretty good, isn't it? Yeah, it's right in between his berries and his woodline. He's very happy with that one.
And it drops the time it is requiring to make a sheep from 2 minutes to 1 minute and 20 seconds. So that is very efficient pasturing for MarineLorD there.
Yeah, we can see the harassment now on these berry bushes. Quite a few villagers have gone down here, but MarineLorD really not achieving much at this point in time. Siege engineering is coming through at this point, so I suspect we'll see a mangonel or 7 coming out very shortly.
He's got the money for it. He's got money for 3 mangonels right now, and he's not stopping with gathering. The big thing for mangonels is really they're able to kill buildings as well, since they deal double damage to buildings, besides absolutely dumpstering villagers. And that's going to give more raid bonus to the Mongol player MarineLorD here.
Yeah, and you can see him coming in, getting some beautiful swings off on those villagers, taking that villager lead down. Currently sitting at about 19, so it's still a pretty decent lead. But keep in mind, behind this, MarineLorD is capturing sacred sites, as you can see. He's also looking to pick up relics, so he's picked up 2 relics so far in his possession.
2 relics, 2 sacred sites soon. He's going to get that late game gold. And there comes the first, wait, ram? I thought it was going to be a mangonel for sure.
Yeah, ram makes a lot of sense here. He's going to be able to push in underneath these outposts, push underneath the town centers. Should be able to do so with impunity as well, and really force the issue. But I think a mangonel is going to make a lot of sense in the follow-up. But at this point in time, we don't see any archers coming out. It's really not going to do too much at mangonel.
Yeah, I suppose he could get flanked by those horsemen and lose a large critical investment. So, makes sense. Just wants to really push him off those berries. He knows that controlling the Abbasid Dynasty player here is also involving denying berries. There is a berry patch here. There's another one at the bottom, and he's got a Khan there that deals 8 damage a pop. Will take him about 7 shots to kill a villager.
Yeah, now we see those men-at-arms beginning to move in. A beautiful surround actually coming through here for DeMusliM. He's got a lot of cheaper units going up against these more expensive units. And now we see the upgrades for the outpost coming through. Villagers moving through as well, but I think they're only interested in the berries here, Grubby.
Yep. They're just getting those berries up. Tower's still shooting. We've got a melee attack here for DeMusliM, so he's doing 10 damage a pop. There is a melee armor, though, so it's been mitigated. Those men-at-arms are now starting to retarget on villagers. He's getting a lot of kills there. Every horseman has died. How many blue bodies do you count, Aussie?
I'm not very good at counting, but it's at least 16.
No, sorry, I mean bodies, like dead bodies.
Oh, okay, dead bodies. Well, there were 3.
It was like 3. It's like almost nothing, right? I was like,
I'm glad you clarified they were dead bodies. The dead bodies is what you wanted to know.
I thought I was softballing you. I see like 3 bodies.
Oh, jeez. But now we do actually see Age 3 coming through from DeMusliM. I think he's doing all right. I think he's managing to hold. So he's down about, or he's up about 21 villagers at this point in time. So his economy's fine. At the same time, he hasn't died yet, and that's pretty important when it comes to winning the game. You don't want to die.
Yeah, that's so terribly final. You have to go to the next game and work your way back from a 0-2 deficit, so tedious. At this time, DeMusliM is almost reaching Castle. Wait, where's this?
Wallalol, I think it might be down towards the south. I'm not too sure. There was a Wallalol that just went off somewhere.
Yeah.
Vodka, unfortunately.
A little bit south, a little bit more south at the wood line. Left middle, let's say. Left middle at the tree line. But I think the relic is on the floor. It probably just got killed by something, by a con or whatever. I don't know.
Indeed it did. Yes, you can see the body of the shaman was there, but now picking off the ramp, so delaying this push as well. So it means that you're going to have MarineLorD back at the drawing board. Now DeMusliM manages to reach up to the 3rd H. And keep in mind, he's got that ability to train or to make mangonels out in the field here.
Yeah, without any upgrade. Wait,
oh,
no, don't do
you
it.
Can't do
no,
it.
No. Yes.
Oh, okay,
yes.
Never mind. Those pointy stabs actually did quite a lot of damage. I was really worried right there, Grubby.
I wasn't.
Weren't you? I was actually really worried. I'm like, that's a good game moment right there. Like, you've got to be very careful with that.
No, I was fake hype casting it. I knew that he was going to take down it. No, I didn't know. I was worried too. We were holding our hearts. We weren't holding hands, but we were close to it. DeMusliM already getting crossbows out here. He's getting that veteran spearman upgrade. Once all of those are out, we're looking at that villager count, and we're kind of nodding and we're pursing our lips and saying, not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. He's up 27 villagers at this point in time. Hasn't died. That's, as I mentioned earlier, that's a really good thing. 3 sacred sites have gone over towards MarineLorD, though. He does have 3 of the relics in his possession as well. He's constantly pushing inside the base of DeMusliM here, but DeMusliM continues to hold on. Veteran spears coming through now as well. And one of the things to note is that he is playing the Abbasid dynasty, who have some of the best spearmen in the game, if not the best spearmen in the game, full stop.
Yeah, the 2 great defining features of them, or let's say 3. 2 of them are Imperial, bonus health. He's not in Imperial yet. The other one is the faster production times from the Golden Age level 3. And then the other one is double range. And that's the one we're talking about here, really, isn't it? Easier to get large amounts of focus fire damage on enemy melee.
Looking incredibly strong as well. You can see that he's got so many spears. He's surrounding the men-at-arms incredibly effectively here. This might be an upset. I think coming into this game after the first game, a lot of people would have been looking at this and saying, well, there's another game going over to MarineLorD.
Easy set.
But not easy done, unfortunately. And DeMusliM looking incredibly strong at this point in the game.
Yeah, first game was a bit of a wash, bit of a doozy. Game number 2 here. Oh, okay, look, MarineLorD did go for a second town center himself. 900 wood was poured into this town center, and he's still step redoubting. 67 against 93 villagers. Well, he'll never overtake him. He's against 3 TCs. He's spending 2 villagers worth of food per cycle. DeMusliM is spending 1.5 villagers worth of food per cycle while getting 50% more. It's only going to get further ahead.
And that's exactly it. And now we see that force from DeMusliM really starting to build up. And keep in mind that these guys are phalanx spears, but now obviously MarineLorD realizing that. Look at the veteran archers on the back line with their beautiful bows. I love the bows from the Mongols. They just look really cool, don't they?
Yeah, like an ivory bow. It's got that light sheen, very defining, easy to see what they are. Love them as well. They do great bonus damage into spearmen. They're also a good counter into crossbows. This is not a good fight for DeMusliM here. Ideally, once your spears are countered by archers, that's where you want to make a couple of mangonels. And 3,000 gold is enough for it.
Yeah, well, yeah, MarineLorD's got plenty of gold in the bank, but take a look at DeMusliM right now.
Oh, sorry, yeah, wrong gold. Oh, yeah.
He's got plenty of resources in the bank as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a couple from him. He's got to be careful, though. Villagers down towards his south position.
No! Wrong way.
Wrong way indeed. Absolutely getting mauled. And there's our first Mangonel shot of the game, landing down on a couple of those men-at-arms. The sacred sites have indeed been captured, as displayed on your screen right there. And that Mangonel is going to be able to very effectively push away these Mongol forces. Now, earlier we did see MarineLorD had invested in the siege engineering, so I suspect that was the improved siege engineering, not just the stock standard one.
Yeah, imagine getting the baseline. You actually have to spend the full amount for the second one again as well.
Are you sure?
Don't you?
I thought it was just the stone.
Oh, maybe it's true.
But
I hope so.
You do, but you do have to research it again, which means it's double the time.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we imagine it's probably advanced siege engineering. Maybe he just made the RAM, who knows? We can try to figure that out later. But by the way, holy goodness, MarineLorD, 3,600 gold, and he suddenly evaporated some of that, found something to spend it on. We look at his production queue. There's the siege engineering again.
No way. No way.
He went for the baseline level the first time. Actual normal siege engineering Andy now becoming a Mongol siege engineering.
Wow. I'm incredibly surprised that it came to our attention and we called it out without knowing, and that it actually came to fruition.
Nice goal there, Drongo. Are you more impressed that he has the stubbornness to buck the meta, to buck the trend, or are you more disgusted he didn't get it right away?
To be honest, it makes a lot of sense in the position that he was in. It probably didn't need to have a Mangonel. You know, the battering ram was very capable, but he's doing a pretty decent job right now, DeMusliM, of cleaning up that front. Now, obviously, all the 3 sacred sites have gone over to MarineLorD. That sacred site counter is ticking. You can see that on the lower left-hand side of your screen. It's going to have almost 8 minutes to go until that victory does sound. But obviously, that's quite a long way off, Grubby.
It is quite a long way off. And, you know, it's gold generation, if anything. DeMusliM does have quite a large villager advantage still. He's still making army. Didn't make any move against the sites yet, but he does feel like he's got time for it, probably. A lot of villagers getting attacked here again. MarineLorD's aggression continuing to pay off. We can now see the beginnings of a unit transition, with knights being a great unit into archers, of course.
Yeah, very, very effective against them. I'm a big fan of the Mangonels, though, so hopefully we see a couple more out, and it indeed looks like we're seeing a couple more Mangonels coming out towards the north here. So probably going to be looking to challenge up some of those sacred sites and begin applying a pressure towards MarineLorD. MarineLorD down towards the center here is beginning to expand out towards his Uvu, and we do indeed have 5 knights or 5 lancers coming in from MarineLorD at this point in time, so he's obviously identified that there's Mangonels out on the field. We need to deal with those immediately.
And also respecting the unit counters consistently. He sees spears, he makes archers. He's also making his own spearmen now, since he has seen the beginning of a cavalry force being started by DeMusliM. Get a bit of fake out, but it is what it is. It actually is what it looked like. Horsemen and knights are coming out. So both really trying to get the jump on each other with the army counter sheet. And somehow MarineLorD suddenly went from 30 pop behind to 20 ahead.
I have no idea where it came from. But more impressively, we see DeMusliM actually losing a significant amount of villagers. But now we've got ourselves a little bit of a battle beginning to break out. Mangonel's on the backside, almost getting taken out by those Springlords. You can see him moving back those Springlords, being very careful to micro them. Those Lancers that we mentioned earlier also doing quite a lot of work. But look at the front line, just getting absolutely melted there. Horsemen looking to now clean up those archers that remain, and the Mangonel's really coming through. He's going to be potentially unfolding here, but it does go down before the shot comes off. It was so close to getting off there, Grubby.
Yeah, almost got a second shot off there, but the archers are protected for now. The question is, how much value do they have? I guess they're glorified Springald builders right now at this point.
Yes, it seems like there's quite a few glorified Springald builders out on the map right now, but one of the things that just came to my attention, MarineLorD's making 17 sheep. Does that mean he's got 17 pastures out on the map?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a lot of pastures.
That's a lot of pastures.
That's a lot of pastures, ladies and gentlemen. He's got sheep for days.
And I think you need 3, at this point with those upgrades, you need about 3 villagers per pasture in order to make it worth it. So 17 pastures would mean that you could put to work like 50 villagers.
That's quick math.
And I don't think he has that many on food, or he'd be having a larger amount. So he's hoarding sheep, basically.
We've all been there before.
Oh, yeah.
We've all been to New Zealand. But now it looks like a pretty decent mass coming out here for MarineLorD. A solid defense here. He's building up quite a solid supply lead here as well. And I'm really starting to wonder, where is the force from DeMusliM? It just looks like it's been dwindled down so quickly.
Yeah, some of it is still in production. His Mangonels are left behind. He got a couple of shots off but he's got, what, a scout in production, 1 crossbow, a knight, and 3 men-at-arms, an ungainly band of reinforcements.
Compared to the 17 sheep that MarineLorD's
Oh
got.
my god.
Yeah, you got to watch out for those.
They're dangerous in large numbers if you don't have a border collie around. MarineLorD now starting to launch the counterattack. He still has that 4-minute 30 sacred site timer. DeMusliM did not branch off a single unit to try and reclaim one of those at any point.
And now it looks like MarineLorD looking to secure up and shore up that position towards the north. The Springord emplacement probably going to be coming very important up towards that position. But now we actually see crossbows coming out for DeMusliM, but not really being that effective. The spearmen just going to continue to chase those down and doing so much work here, fighting up against horsemen, fighting up against knights. And behind this, look at the archer numbers coming out here from MarineLorD. He's looking quite strong. You know, it was barely 5 minutes ago we were talking up the strengths of DeMusliM. He was far ahead on the population, far ahead in the villager count. He was looking great. But somehow MarineLorD has managed to take the 2 town centers and overwhelm the 3 town centers.
It's really difficult also in terms of army composition to pivot as effectively as MarineLorD has done so far. He suddenly finds himself in a situation where he's largely spearman archer focused against crossbows. Those 2 units trade very well into crossbows. So by showing men-at-arms, letting those die first, saving the archers, he got to a situation where he's got this great army composition.
Villagers. The villager pool comes in from the south. DeMusliM actually looks to demolish those mangonels, coming in very quickly, very swiftly.
Nice kills there, but he doesn't have a lot of body left to his army. Into these spearmen and archers and crossbows. The Khan is still alive, able to give armor aura or attack speed aura for ranged if he wills. Mangonel gets 1 good shot in, gets taken down forthwith.
Yeah, now that crossbow's going to be moving back, and once again, crossbows fighting up against trash. They're not the best units up against trash. Unfortunately, you'd love to have a few more archers on the back line, but now it looks like DeMuslim's going to tap out. MarineLorD victorious, 2-0. And we enter into the final game, potentially, of the series.
Oh, rough game, rough game. You're playing the final match of the evening, down 0-2 against MarineLorD. I can't think of a more demoralizing position to be in. This was supposed to be the game that DeMusliM could win. It was in a great position. First game, let's just forget about that one. But this game, too, held a lot of promise, Strongo.
It really looked good for him. There were a couple points in there we obviously looked really worried, especially in the early game. The big thing was that there was so much pressure coming out onto DeMusliM, and he was kind of put in the corner. We were worried about him. We saw all of these outposts coming up. He wasn't really doing much behind it, but then the 2nd town center, and eventually that 3rd town center came out, and it started to look hopeful. Yet somehow, MarineLorD just does MarineLorD things and finds an opening and finds a victory.
Absolutely well played here. It's not DeMuslim's loss as much as it is MarineLorD's victory. He was down 30 villagers, but his multitask, and I think, yeah, actually, if I just was going to name one thing, like MarineLorD's good at everything, but if I was going to name one thing, it would be the rapid tech switch of his army. Being daring to commit 30-plus archers into a Abbasid player that can make mangonels on the field.
Yeah.
I find that pretty gutsy.
Incredibly.
And then many Mongol one-tricks on quick match, you know, roaming the ladder, looking for easy victims. They'll make knights, and then they counter anything with more knights. Not MarineLorD. He went through every single unit. Mangonels, Springolds, archers, spearmen, horsemen, knights, men-at-arms. And I think being able to make the right unit at the right time, maybe even anticipating the opponent's counter, besides scouting it, gave him the edge here.
Incredibly so. Yeah, I think that I was a little bit surprised in that game when I just saw a whole bunch of spearmen coming from. There was a fight over towards the right side of the map, and just a huge burst of spearmen came up. I'm like, where did they come from? He just finds these tech switches so quickly. So definitely got to agree with you on that front. He's also incredibly competent when it comes to multitasking. A very high APM player, obviously coming from StarCraft. It's a requirement to be good in that game, and it definitely doesn't let him down when it comes to Age of Empires either.
Yeah, I think it was his forte in StarCraft 2. I had the pleasure of playing against him quite often in StarCraft 2, and where initially I was able to get maybe more than 50% victories against him because his micro was just a little sloppy sometimes, the equivalent of eating large mangonel shots and Well, that's basically all Protoss has. They have a whole lot of different versions of mangonels. He would take some of those shots, but then eventually, like his sheer speed, his multitask, his rapid aggressive tempo, his macro, his ability to macro and micro at the same time, it became too much. And towards the end of my play, like usually he was winning pretty much every game. And then he got even better at that game. Eventually he came over to Age of Empires 4, loved it, fit him like a glove.
Yeah.
And now he's one of the most dominant players that is, as of yet, denied one of the truly major titles.
Yeah, he's yet to have an S tier under his belt at this point. But he's looking to change that here. He is looking to change that. Now, the next map is going to be Altai.
Okay.
A map that is traditionally good for civilizations like the English, civilizations like the Abbasid as well. So heading into this, players have got a number of civs available to them. So we see that DeMusliM does have access to the Delhi. So if he dares go through 3-0, I'd hate to see it, but without taking the Delhi, it'd be kind of crazy to do it. But I feel like Altai is probably not the map that you want it for. You want to save it for King of the Hill. You want to save it for Lipany maps that MarineLorD's got. But
yeah, I think you're right. I think Lipany is the preferred one for Delhi there. If DeMusliM is looking to go all the way, let's say he has the mental strength to go all the way, I would say that the most likely play here is English or Chinese. Chinese to, basically take one of the harder to play civs on a map like Lipany and King of the Hill and use it now. I think he's pretty good at them. But if he says, like, let's just get this over with one way or another, I just want to play civs I'm good with, whatever, then he could just go with Delhi.
yeah,
Or English.
I suspect it's going to be an English coming out of DeMusliM. Now, MarineLorD's probably going to know that. So
Okay,
what's
I
his
agree.
play into that? You've got a couple options. Obviously, Holy Roman Empire, a civilization that's pretty strong on this map. It's relatively good against the English as well, having the men-at-arms when they're not being kited, but not traditionally considered a counter.
Yeah.
There's the French as well, which are having access to the knights in the Second Age.
They don't love this map as much because their gold or wood has a chance of immediately getting outpost longbowmen rushed.
Yep.
He could go with Holy Roman Empire, anticipating a potential Delhi pick. Delhi, a little bit more doing their own thing, at least. Well, maybe that's all the info. Right now, they're like super aggressive in your face. So not 100% sure that's nice. I don't know if either one of them feels comfortable in an English mirror. They could just go for level 1 of psychology. You were incorrect. They played the same civ as last game. No. Oh, wow. I didn't expect this. So the Muslim did go with the Delhi. Let's just say the strongest remaining civ. He wants to not plan out the whole series. This is what I need here. This is what I need there. He wants, right now, the strongest remaining civ.
Yes, he needs to get on the board right now because it doesn't matter if he goes English here and tries to, or he manages or tries to get a victory here, because at the end of the day, if he loses this map,
He's
then
out.
He's out.
He wants the most promising civ. But what about MarineLorD? Chinese. Did not expect this.
I don't think I expected this either. Very interesting to see MarineLorD, a person who's not particularly a fan of the Chinese.
Is he not?
No, not at all. In fact, I do recall him saying it's the worst civ by far and that he would never pick it. So
When was this?
This was just earlier, yesterday, actually. So
Well, that's a long time ago.
yes, it is. A lot has changed since then. But I'm curious to see how the game is going to unfold because MarineLorD probably going to be looking to play quite aggressive in Age 2, I would expect. We could see out quite a number of Chokunus, and this unit is very good against the Delhi because there is nothing that counters them in the Second Age.
Well, that's true. And your ranged armor upgrade is slower than any other civ can bring them out. And ranged armor is one of the most important things you can get against Chuganu.
So I'm thinking, if I'm in MarineLorD's shoes at the moment, I'm up against the Delhi on this map. I'm going to go for a fast dynasty.
Okay.
I'm going to try and look to secure a foothold in the Second Age. Probably stick to one base. I don't think there's any need to go more than one base or one town center at this point in time. And then try and look to expand out, maybe just keep my enemy off the sacred sites, at least off 2 of them.
So you're thinking quick Song Dynasty, 5.5, 6 minutes.
Yep.
Singular town center.
Yep.
Start Chuganu production.
Yep.
What are they best supported by? You're expecting, let's say, horsemen and spears.
Yeah, I would just honestly go with full Chokunu.
No way.
Yeah.
Into horsemen?
Oh, definitely.
The more the better. We're talking
Yes.
like 60, Chuganu, no support?
Exactly. I think
All right.
it's going to be important getting that +1 upgrade, but I would expect that we're going to see some spears coming out of him as well. It does make a fair bit of sense to have spears,
Okay.
especially if you're thinking about horsemen. But, I mean, from DeMusliM's side, everything that we're seeing out of him so far seems to be quite standard. When it comes to MarineLorD, obviously got the Imperial Official out. On DeMuslim's side, he's got that wheelbarrow in queue. He's got that wheelbarrow researched and going for survival techniques now. Forestry already underway and has got that mosque down. Going to be looking to go with Dome of the Faith.
5 villagers, quite a few. I usually go with 4. You get those earlier scholars, you get your earlier research, so it's good for your economy. You make a momentary sacrifice in gathering, about 40, 50 seconds for a single villager. Let's say that adding that 5th villager costs you about 30 resources, but instead you're getting earlier quadruple upgrades, and you're getting earlier scholars, which gets you your upgrades quicker. Kind of makes sense, actually, to make it with quite a few.
Yeah, there's a lot of advantages to getting up that landmark up extra quickly.
Wait, what is this?
We've got some forward Barbican rushing.
Ah.
Was this on the cards?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. He's going to control the major central location that has a sacred site. The 2 on the side are easier to be walled off. And as we say that, we look at that east side. What do we see, Drongo?
We see some walls coming down. Now, it looks like it might be a bit of an interesting spawn down towards this south sacred side. Have a look at how the rock formation has come out on your mini-map there, as we do actually see a villager coming down. Might actually be losing its life here, but this villager going to be moving from the center. It's got to be close. It does fall back, that scout. So DeMusliM, unfortunately, not going to be able to pick that one up. But yeah, down towards that south. Take a look at this rock formation that we've got in here. It's just absolute mountains everywhere.
Yeah, there's nothing to be done up there. There's all kinds of highlands that maybe in 37 minutes from now we'll have some kind of weird chase fight. But there are no resources. You can't actually pass through it, so it's effectively dead space. But you could put one nifty outpost there to cover a large area of vision.
Now, interestingly, it looks like MarineLorD has actually gone for a stone mine. Now, there's a couple different things that you can do here. Now, keep in mind, in the second age, stone walls are banned out. Not going to be able to make any stone walls. So that's off the list. Also not going to be able to make any stone towers as well throughout the entire game. So that leaves 2 options for him. Number 1, it is a town center. Number 2, it's emplacements in his outpost.
Stone emplacement. So they cost 50 stone and 25 gold per. So if you see twice as many villagers on stone as on gold, generally, that means a number of stone emplacements. And I think probably that's what it is here, with him making outposts already. It could still be a later second town center as well, but it looks like that's what it is.
I suspect it will be. Keep in mind the Chinese have got access to those hand cannons as well, which are going to pierce through even the hardest of armor.
Hand cannon emplacements, right?
Correct, yes.
25 damage, lower frequency than arrow slits.
Correct. So they're doing a huge amount of damage right up front, and they're very effective. But look at this. Already from MarineLorD, we see the emplacements coming out. He's putting down the wall, and he's out pretty early. Typically, you would expect about 7 minutes, 7 minutes 20 is when you'd be looking for Sanctity to be completed. Now, over on the Delhi side of the map, we do see Sanctity in queue. 1:30 to go on that bad boy, so still some time.
7:40 is when he will have it, but every single area has already been denied.
Look at this. So DeMusliM thinking he is the smart guy and realizes very quickly
that he is. Say it.
He's the dumb guy.
He's
I was going to say he's the bold guy, but he already knows it.
Man, yeah. What a preordained, premeditated defense here from MarineLorD. He puts the Barbican on the center point, hand cannon emplacement, towers on the other side. DeMusliM does take control of the flank here, but where exactly that is going to lead remains to be seen. He's got horsemen and spears in production as expected. Only he is allowed to travel via that sideways corridor now. And he's going to start banging on these walls.
And take a look at that. We've actually got from MarineLorD down on that south side, he's got an outpost stuck over the other side of the wall.
It's kind of weird.
So even if you get through the first wall, even if you get through the second wall, you're still going to have to deal with that outpost.
Yeah, I suppose. And it looks like the Scholar could not stand and tippy-toe on the site without getting attacked.
I think there might be a nice little safe spot in there potentially. If we click on that outpost, it will probably reveal the attack range.
Oh, not from the observer view.
There we go.
Oh,
so
but I think this is a lie.
I think so as well.
I think this is the 600 range, and then there's an 800 range that's 33% longer. And well, you're just gonna have to use your imagination.
All right, I'm dreaming it up now, Grubby. I'll let you take over.
Okay, how many seconds do you need? I'll keep going. The man has to focus. What's the judgment? Can a Scholar tippy-toe, yes or no?
All right, we're going to find out very shortly because these walls are indeed going down now. And he's going to gain access to this sacred side, but I don't know whether he's going to be able to take control of it. Now, keep in mind that Barbican is still sitting in the middle, so at the very least. And now we've actually got a horseman going to be coming out now. These guys don't do a lot of damage, but they do stab.
Yeah, he's chasing that Scholar, but there's plenty of forces here for DeMusliM. He's going to step up here. We're going to wait and see whether... Wait, does that even have an emplacement? No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, it does. It does. Okay.
Oh, look, I think it's... Is it attacking him? No, no.
No, it's cool. Tippy-toed.
He's got the sweet spot.
Get tippy-toed, fool. Who's dumb now?
Well, 1 sacred site to 3, and we're at 8 minutes 30. So ideally, I mean, it's coming in a minute later than what you typically expect. They're your timings that you'd normally want 7 minutes 30, and you'd want all 3 to start ticking at the same time. So he's only managed to start the ticking on 1. But obviously for DeMusliM, he's got a whole bunch of tech that is coming in behind this. We can see that he's sitting on relatively the same amount of villages as MarineLorD, but obviously has those technologies. Compared to MarineLorD, he's got no techs available at the moment, or no techs that he's researched at the moment.
And he didn't go for Song Dynasty either, did he?
I don't think so, no.
Taking a look at it, he's got a range, a barracks, and a stable. And it's kind of both the Delhi and the Chinese approach. Since you can supervise any one of them, you can delay your decision of what unit to make to later. MarineLorD is actually going to head over to a fast Castle Age, pre-minute 10 click up. And then, presumably, contest some sites, contest some of the relics, and really play a high-tech game with a normal econ and a pretty low army contribution as well.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how he's going to look to play this one out. Obviously, you can see that he's a bit disappointed that the sacred site down towards the south has been captured. Probably needed to move that outpost just a little bit closer towards that wall. But
that was Faramir on the horse, by the way. It's like there was no chance of saving that. He was so disappointed. He sent this horseman to its death. Pretty sad, but he'll survive.
Yeah.
We'll have you know, spoilers.
I think now the question is for MarineLorD, though, what composition does he look to go into? Because he's going up against spears, so it makes it very difficult to go into knights.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that it's probably going to be palace guards, and that is indeed what we start to see coming out here, but...
It's bumping them out. That's basically worth 3 barracks. Those palace guards are going to run to the opposite side, so... If he wants to actually get through from that side, he can either delete the wall and rebuild it, or he can make a gate. The simple way to do it is send a villager now, delete it, and then rebuild it. So you don't have to wait for the gate production. They can take that side back.
Now, interestingly, in this position, you'd expect MarineLorD to be quite behind, even though he's ahead in castle, just simply because DeMuslim's got such a big army. You take a look at the difference between population for these two guys. You've got 5 military population, or 6 now for MarineLorD, 33 for DeMusliM.
Yeah.
So a big difference there. But keep in mind, MarineLorD significantly slowed down DeMusliM. He hasn't had access to 2 sacred sites this entire time.
True.
So it means that he is sitting very far behind. All this gold that he's got, he's had to mine it from villages rather than from the sacred sites, which means that he can't have those villages on the food, which means he's behind on the food. He's up late to that next stage, and it means there's a window here for MarineLorD to come in with his palace guards, and that's exactly what he's doing, Grubby.
Palace guards have a pretty decent position. They're tanky. Not as tanky as men-at-arms, though. They've got 1 melee armor, but that takes them from 3 to 4. That means the stabbing damage here is still 9 against 4, which is 5. Really respectable. The spears and horsemen are going ham, and there's a scholar here also to help out. The first palace guard has just fallen. They're availing themselves very well. And the Barbican is also target firing these units. Not the most advantageous fights here for DeMusliM. He does have a powerful economy behind this. 4 eco upgrades. Had one of those sites for quite a long time, basically from minute 9 to 12. So that has been worth 450 bonus gold.
And MarineLorD's looking incredibly strong. He's managed to neutralize the sacred site down towards the south. His Barbican in the center of the map remains empowered, or remains in force, and he's capitalized, taking control of the center here. Huge amount of palace guards that are out for him. Despite only having half the amount of military units out, he is significantly ahead when it comes to the military and just the strength.
Yeah, definitely. And those palace guards are fast. They make for great harassers. Somewhere in between the men-at-arms and the knights. DeMusliM is aging up. He's got several scholars in production. He's going with the House of Learning, which will give him strong men-at-arms and knights. But it takes a while for Castle Age to pay off. The moment that MarineLorD gets that information, I think he's going to spam as many units as he can and try to hit before Castle Age ends up paying off.
Yeah, now we can see that those scholars in the middle of the map starting to get cleaned up as well by those palace guards. Now, keep in mind, there's another house rule that we haven't mentioned, and that is that the unique technology available to the deli at the mosque is not allowed to be researched. That's herbal medicine, and that increases the rate that these scholars can heal. So that's those are not particularly strong scholars, but at the same time, well-balanced scholars.
Yeah. Like, they still have a good healing rate, but the players generally fairly unanimously found that this build would be abused fairly hard. You guys on ladder are free to use it. Herbal medicine is good. Hot news from the pros. Here they prefer to play without it. Very interesting. Kind of serving as a test case example for the devs to look at this and say, are games better like this, question mark? Maybe yes or no. Same thing with the feudal stone walls that are not allowed. But MarineLorD is turning up the pressure. He's at 47 villagers against 41. He's pushing in full garrison. An elephant comes out, though, in the defense of the base.
And not only the defense of the base, but it actually took out the wolf that was there. The wolf was attacking the palace guards. It came out of the blocks and just hit the wolf straight away. Didn't even bother with the palace guards. But now it's turned its attention towards the palace guards, and you can see them running for their lives.
Elephants hate wolves. They go after the little ones, you see. Took those down.
MarineLorD now in a position where he's got a bit of a window here. He's managed to delay the sacred sites being taken, and he's completely stopped it. So the question is, what does he transition to from here? Is he going to be looking for a second town center? Is he going to be looking for a Song dynasty, try and get those villagers out? Because at the moment, he's got about a 6-villager lead, so not particularly strong. But he's going to need to transition into something if he wants to stay in this game, because now we see the men-at-arms starting to come out, and these guys, they do very well up against palace guards.
Yeah, they've got extra armor. DeMusliM has 2 blacksmiths plodding away as well. He's working on melee armor number 2, ranged armor number 2, and everything else. I mean, he clicked all the buttons. He did forget to get his H3 economy upgrade started, though. That's been about a minute or so, and well, it's kind of embarrassing, but there's also so much going on. It should be a standard habit when you get to H3, but he really was fighting for his life at that moment. Palace guards are coming in again for the villagers.
We've got another landmark coming in, and I'm not quite sure what it is. To me, it looks like it might be the Spirit Way coming in for China. It's the Imperial Academy. Never mind.
Okay, Song Dynasty, right? Castle Song.
Bit of a resource difference between those two, but we continue to see pressure applied right now to the base of DeMusliM. He's looking incredibly on the ropes right now as these palace guards continue swinging away at villagers, multiple villagers going down here. Elephant coming back to try and save the day and chasing away those palace guards, but now we see a second town center getting dropped down here from DeMusliM. But these villagers here trying to get it up, but unfortunately being found out by the palace guards. Are going to sprint over, try and delay this even further, and it looks like they might have some luck here.
I don't think the villagers will finish this job. Oh, they do. But everyone will die. Oh, there we go. Song Dynasty begins. Villager goes inside. Villager discrepancy is 15 at the moment. And we should see DeMusliM slowly recuperate once again. But he hasn't had that sacred site income. He did start his economy upgrades level 2 right now. But he doesn't have as many villagers to benefit from it. He has a nice army. About twice the value. Well, we don't know about value, twice the amount, and I would say pretty high value considering he has at least 1 elephant and a bunch of scholars, but he's unable to have that mobility advantage, so he doesn't get to decide where he gets to fight MarineLorD.
And that's exactly it. So I think it's going to be imperative that DeMusliM looks to wall up now.
Yes.
It's a really big part. You can see he's already got walls down over on his western flank, but yet to get any in on the eastern flank just yet. Now going to be looking to push out his enemy once again, try and grab himself a little bit of space here, but over on the other side, villagers just going down, a 21 villager difference now, and probably going to keep climbing as these palace guards keep on swinging. Scholars coming over to bless those villagers, but unfortunately, it's too little too late, Grubby.
It is. Those palace guards are fast. MarineLorD is all over the place, Drongo, and without those walls, he keeps sending them away again after denying mining time and killing a few here and there. MarineLorD is looking so strong.
And keep in mind, DeMusliM is playing the deli. He can build these walls with his infantry. So to me, it indicates that maybe a little bit of inexperience with the civilization as we see the fastest scholar in the world moving back with a relic. Look at that bad boy go. Mark 3 right there.
Yeah, it's sick. I mean, they're even faster than warrior monks without relics. This upgrade is insane. And it's going to help actually protect villager lines a bit as well. You can do mass conversions. You're right, Drongo, though. Gotta be a little critical here. You see this pass here where the red army is retreating? That's 40 wood investment the most for a wooden wall.
And how many villagers are you going to stay or keep alive with that?
Dozens.
Yeah.
It would have helped dozens of villagers stay alive. And can even go for a stone wall now. It's allowed in Castle Age, no towers, but at least they cannot be assaulted by palace guards. In comes a nest of bees. MarineLorD is looking to turn up the temperature even more.
And it looks like we do actually have some walls coming down in that position, but the men-at-arms going to be looking to turn their attention towards that nest of bees. Doesn't look like Force March has come out just yet.
He has it.
Oh, he has it. He pops it right now, landing on top of that nest of bees. G'day, mate. See you later. That's exactly what happened to him, and now looking like a pretty decent cleanup towards the front of the base here.
But with MarineLorD, I'm always thinking there's something else going on, isn't there?
There's always something else going on with MarineLorD.
It's never monodimensional, and sure enough, another force goes in on the back on that second TC. If we can pan over there and see what they're getting. We look at the villager count, 42. Yep, those 2 villagers are going down as well. God.
23 villager difference at the moment now. MarineLorD managing to stay ahead despite being only on 1 town center at this point. Going to be falling back towards his Barbican in the center. He has managed to heal it up. It's got full health. And it looks like our sacred site is slowly going to be captured in the middle of the map. Now, keep in mind, DeMusliM's got 3 relics, so it's not all bad news for him.
Yeah.
And obviously wants to be capturing up those sacred sites, but just having, you know, the smallest investment coming out from MarineLorD doing so much work for him on this map.
We haven't seen MarineLorD's base in a while. I know we've still got a villager thing going on here, but let's take a look at it. He's got Song Dynasty, 1 town center at least, with that Imperial Academy, and 3 villages, which has been really nice. He's actually got Mongol levels of supply now, capping out at 200. And he's got space to make a town center if he wants to. But it looks like he's channeling all of his stone presently into a very forward keep.
And this is almost, I'm getting a little bit worried about this because the keep's going to go up quickly.
Yeah.
My fear is it's going to go down quickly as well. There's a lot of elephants.
Yeah.
And so I think this is a very, very...
I would have liked this location right here.
On the hill.
On top of the hill.
Castle on the hill.
Wall behind it. Where do you build a castle? Generally on the hill.
The song's written about it.
Yep.
But now it looks like the elephant's going to be coming out. They do spot that nest of bees, and they're going to try and run it down. But it's going to be the classic tortoise versus the tortoise. Oh, yes, that nest of bees is quite slow. But now look at those elephants coming out. A lot of crossbows here. Now, keep in mind, crossbows aren't particularly effective against elephants.
No.
This is a mistake I've made multiple times.
Yeah.
You think these bad boys are armored. They're not armored. They look like they are, though, but they are not.
Yeah, war elephants get countered by horsemen and by spearmen. Spearmen being the best, horsemen being second best. This is, of course, Castle Age things we're talking about here. And crossbows are probably like among the bottom 3 worst up to Castle Age, together with villagers.
And now, once again, we see MarineLorD running into that wood line of his opponent, DeMusliM, trying to scramble units out towards that direction. We can see that there is boiling oil coming through for MarineLorD on this front line, but not having a lot of luck. These elephants going to be doing a good job here. And despite the villager difference between these 2 players, I do feel like DeMusliM's not in a terrible position.
He's holding on nice. He's got those relics, decent amount of villagers. Oh, the scholars all got killed.
He wasn't paying attention. He's lost one elephant, and how many scholars have all gone down? He's going to be trying to move forward. You can see that nest of bees firing off towards the elephants. That is, it's not looking pretty, but now they're going to be looking to focus it down, getting up nice, close and personal, and they do take it out very quickly once getting in melee range. But once again, we see DeMusliM's base getting raided, just palace guards in there non-stop doing so much damage.
Yeah, a few more walls. He does have that northern wall now, and he's got a southern wall, but it's that northeastern wall that was a liability. Palace guards got in again. So annoying, killing so many villagers, and DeMusliM can never really restabilize.
Yeah, it really just goes down to, you know, this is something that we called a few minutes ago, and when we called it a few minutes ago, we said it probably needed to come in 10 minutes ago, but he's going to try and clean up here on this front line, but just now we see that boiling oil has come out. It's going to be putting out so much extra damage, and it looks like an elephant is going to be going down here, so unable to do too much damage, and MarineLorD actually holds this position despite it being, I guess, initially a little bit concerning for us.
Seemed like it, 4 elephants, but then the army came in and those 3 elephants were low. Was wondering why he pulled back from here, but all of them were near death. It takes only like 4 spearmen to win a battle against a tower elephant that doesn't move. It did move, but it was already weakened. It has been toppled.
And now it looks like we're watching China, and never mind,
That's
the
it?
Muslim taps out, MarineLorD 3-0.
God.
What a beast. Who is going to stop this guy, because he is incredibly strong right now. It is just, wow. I'm in awe.
Yeah, me too. I mean, that is scary levels of play.
Yep.
Aggressive. He took a civilization that no one touched yet but Leenock in this tournament so far. He played it off of a singular town center. No real gimmicks. Just, yeah, the Barbican was far forward, but it makes sense. He denied those sacred sites, cannon emplacements. He knew every step of the way of the playbook of DeMusliM. And also he outplayed a bit as well. Not just with what was given to him, but he created that. DeMusliM could have maybe done more to stop some of that aggression. But again, this isn't Demu's loss. This is MarineLorD's victory.
Yes.
He's a scary player when he's turned on, and he's looking to solidify himself as the top favorite that many of us have been calling him already.
He is... I think the interesting part for me was just the fact that he was so easily able to prevent the sacred sites from being taken. Just a very minimal resource investment, a couple of outposts, a few walls, emplacements going down, and that was it. It never even came up for discussion again throughout the game.
Very much so, and now Leenock, he's 6-0 in this tournament. Pretty sick. It's also
MarineLorD.
Sorry, MarineLorD,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
I was thinking about the comparison between how MarineLorD treated his Altai game with the Barbican, juxtaposed against how Leenock took care of his Chinese versus Holy Roman game earlier today, and kind of filtered into my thoughts, because we were theorizing, Dave and I, that maybe Barbican should have covered some of those relics.
Yep.
Exactly what MarineLorD did here. It looked super clean. But now MarineLorD is going to be going up against Beastyqt in this Swiss round. Both of them are 2-0 in series score.
Yeah.
And the winner will be the first to be 3-0. Virtually guaranteed a top 4 in the bracket phase that comes up afterwards.
It's going to be incredible. Now, we do have MarineLorD standing by for an interview, so we're going to take you guys over there. I don't know about you, Grubby, but I'm pretty excited to find out a little bit about what happened in that first game and see what MarineLorD thinks about it as well.
Let's ask him.
Let's do it. All right, fellas, welcome to the casting couch. I'm here with MarineLorD, with Grubby. MarineLorD, congratulations.
Thanks.
How are you feeling after winning 3-0 against the big bald man?
I mean, he was a little bit sick today, so maybe he could have played a little bit better if he was in good shape. But winning against Delhi is always cool, so nice for me, right? Nice for me.
Yeah, you were the second player to dare to use the Chinese here so far.
Yeah.
Do you? And then you played them in a way, in a little bit different way than most. You went for the fast castle age. You got those 3 buildings to give yourself the option of what unit to make. And in the Mongol game, you were also very powerful in your unit counters in particular. Basically, you switched to archers. Well, I guess my first question is, there's a lot of questions. How do you dare to make archers into Abbasid who have mass spearmen? You're like, okay, archers counter spearmen.
Yeah.
But they have the access to mangonels.
I mean, I have 2, right? So they have arbaletier plus spearman, so you have double counter, and then just siege. And honestly, like, I understand a lot of people complain about siege, but I think it's not that good. And like, if you speed very well against mangonels, it's not like it's gonna outcarry, right? So I think it's fine.
In that first game, it was
it was a weird one.
It was a weird one.
Yeah.
Now, from our perspective, we were a bit worried. We thought that there'd been a disconnect. When the game finished for you, were you confident that you'd won there? Were you unsure?
He
of the
said GG, so
situation?
yes, but if he didn't say GG, I would have expected a disconnection, obviously.
Right.
So we don't see that GG as the observer, right?
Yeah, we didn't see the GG at all.
Our theory is the non-stop attack sounds of that
of course, yeah.
Yeah. So you become mute to it and then didn't notice the knights on the villagers.
I killed like 3 villagers, and then I saw his villager coming for repairing the dock. So I was like, yeah, he's not AFK. So he's just like focusing on that, I guess. I'm not sure, because Rus against Hedgery on this map is like... Okay, in theory, Rus is the best team on this map, but Hedgery is the only one that can match it, I think. And a lot of things could happen. Like if I pick Mongol, I think it's auto-win against Hedgery on this map.
Yeah, any map.
Yeah, if I pick Rus and he picks anything else than Rus and Hedgery, I think it's very good for Rus, even Mongols. So I think he had a good choice of like Civ. But again, like if I lose Rus, it's not big because it's the only map where it's very good. Unlike him, where actually could use it on me, on Altai, on like any map. And that's why I picked Chinese, right? Because he didn't have archery, and he didn't have, what else? Abbasid. And that's the 2 sieves that I'm worried about when I play China. So I was like, without those 2 sieves, actually I can go China if I want. But I plan to go Abbasid at first, so...
You made a last-minute switch into Chinese?
It made sense, yeah, because China, I expected either like Delhi or English, right? And I think China against English, if I play well, is a free win. And China against Delhi is a free win for Delhi, but at least I have a cool strategy, and I mean, it can work, right? So if you can find something that can work against Mongols or Delhi, just use it, and I did.
That is interesting, though, because I think many viewers watching, they'll think of Chinese into English, and they think it's a free loss. They think of longbows and rams, and I would probably give you the benefit of the doubt over that, but maybe you can share something with viewers about how Chinese can stop English at the high level, or if you don't want to give anything away, perhaps at the lower level.
I mean, I do that a lot on stream, so it's pretty much okay. You have to set up your Barbican in a very important spot, so you cover as many resources as possible. And then, obviously on Altai, you can wall pretty easily. So you just try to picture yourself like the best way to wall them up, so like you don't get killed quickly. You open stable pretty much, and then you just delay the push. When he adds spears, you add the dynasty, and then you go Shukunu, and you win.
So Chuganu, they're beating...
I mean, they're beating both spears and longbow, so...
Just not horsemen,
yeah,
right? But they're the least likely unit to come out of English.
In theory, I already have a lot of horsemen at this stage, so like, even if he goes for horsemen, I can go back and do my Barbican, and like, it means he will go for like spearman, horseman, and longbow, right? So he invested more than me, and then I can get H3 faster, and then it's even a bigger win.
Interesting. And how do you micro your Chuganu into longbows? Because much shorter range, they're not particularly faster.
Usually I do like, okay, I have my group of horsemen, my group of Shukunu, and I just try to like select like maybe 8 of them per group of 8, you know, and I try to focus longbow one by one, so it's more optimal. I mean, like, people complain that there is no micro in this game, and like obviously there is no crazy micro like in StarCraft 2, but it means you can focus like perfectly and try to do like the most optimized play, right? So that's cool, I think.
Heading into tomorrow, you're 6-0 currently.
Yeah.
You're going up against Beasty.
Yeah.
What are your chances?
I think it's a good match, honestly. Maybe I won't be able to win 3-0, maybe he will beat me, I don't know. Like, I saw his game today. I think he didn't play that well on the Rus game, the one that goes very late, because I think it's pretty much impossible to lose with Rus in this situation, and he almost lost it, kind of. So I was like a little bit surprised, because Beasty is very good in late game. So maybe he was a little bit shaky, I don't know. And other games were just normal games, so I don't know. I can't really say much about it. It's just normal game, and if I play my optimal play, I think my optimal play is better than his optimal play.
You're a very consistent player, so yeah, that's all the questions I've got. Grubby, any questions from you?
Same here. Great performance.
Thanks.
You're 6-0. Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks, mate.
Thank
Good
you.
luck tomorrow.
Thanks.
I'll keep the two of you for standings.
All right.
Thank you, MarineLorD. And we obviously prepared the standings already. And the matchups